Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And we've got some matchups from season 27 this season with Marincess and the Winged Dragon of Ra. We've got a nice variety of matchups. I know we're in a essentially tier 0 format with Snake Eyes dominating and maybe Kashtira coming in second, but I've been mostly unpleasantly surprised by the diversity I'm seeing on the ladder still. Um, and these particular matches all have kind of interesting little nuances that I want to point out to you. So let's get into it. Hopefully this will work well. I'm talking over a recording because I'm making another video for which I need the replay slot. So I recorded these replays and then deleted them. I'm making an in-depth guide to Exo Sisters, which hopefully will be out very, very soon, maybe right after this one. And I think Exo Sisters is really an excellent deck if you're starting out in Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably better than Marincess. Marincess is a little complicated. Alright, so this is match number 1. We're going first, using the True Sun guy to try to bait out an Ash Blossom and pick up Sphere Mode. And we're just doing standard Marincess stuff, starting with Sea Angel. Chain blocking with Blue Tang's Graveyard effect, which is going to excavate 3 cards, while Sea Angel searches a Marincess spell from our deck. There it is. We're taking Marincess Dive. We are activating Battle Ocean, but even though we activate Battle Ocean, we're still scared of Ash Blossom because that'll just stop our combo. So we summon from the graveyard. I mean, if you're summoning from the graveyard, I guess you could be afraid of Ghost Spell, but not many people, hardly anyone runs Ghost Spell, and if they do, they use it on your link to Coral and Enemy. Alright, Coral Triangle is summoned. We are going to be searching for the trap card by discarding a Marincess monster. There it is, Marincess Wave, the only trap card you should be running, or Marincess trap card you should be running. And you should be doing this if you can, which is summoning Blue Slug kind of on the back end here to get one of your starters back in your hand. You never know when you're going to need it. So, here we go. Aqua Argonaut hitting the field. She is not invincible. We did not use Crystal Heart to link summon her. So we're going to have to use Wave to make her invincible. And our opponent starts out with Harpy's Feather Duster. Unfortunately, we just have to negate. You want Battle Ocean on the field still. And Droplet comes down and negates our Aqua Argonaut. And we're waving goodbye to our spells and traps. They're going to be able to attack us this turn, unfortunately. So I bring back Battle Ocean. If I somehow survive, I'm going to want that in my hand now. And we use Wave on their Kashtira Unicorn. Of course, I don't know. It's like one of the laws of physics that every Kashtira player has Unicorn in their hand to start. But this is Kashtira Snake Eyes, and I guess both the Snake Eyes part and the Kashtira part bricked, so we get very lucky. Don't be fooled. I unfortunately don't summon Ra. I was definitely thinking about it, because, we're really only special summoning here. Okay, they play a little bit on my turn, but it's not a big deal. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the face down card. Alright, so Battle Ocean. Coral and Enemy's effect. We just can't really get enough. We can't wipe with Zelantis, which is what I end up doing. And again, I'm afraid of that face down that, could be imperm. So I use Crystal Heart to summon an invincible Zelantis. Even though Zelantis is not a Marincess monster, if you link summon it with Crystal Heart, it's still invincible. So I wipe the field. And I use my normal summon on Blue Tang. And this is kind of cute. I use Dive on the Pascals I just sent to the graveyard, so Pascals can use her effect to special summon from the hand. And now we get a big fat Blue Slug in our extra monster zone. That's going to be 3,500 attack against this clear field. we're just going to excavate. Why not? Get nothing. Put Spring Girl back in the hand. As I said, you want one of your stirs in the hand. They just surrender. All right, moving on. Game number 2, I think. This is against Sprite, and we almost get to summon Ra. Come very close. There were a couple games in which I did actually summon Ra, but they were really boring. They summoned Snake Eye Ash and I impermed it, and then they couldn't do anything, and then I just attacked them with Ra. Really not interesting. This is interesting. I go first, but I brick completely. I have True Sun God and Guardian Slime if I ever really need it. Hopefully I won't. They start off with Enchantress of the Water Enchantress of the Temple, or Enchantress of the Water Temple, which is the start of an adventure combo. Now that is straight up disrespectful that they normal summon Max C. That was very overconfident of them. They clearly did not read True Sun God. So they're playing Sprite, which is a very, very good deck. It's not popular at all right now. Sprites take level 2 monsters have taken a ton of hits because of how powerful Sprite is. And I don't think I think it's unpopular probably because Nibiru is really popular and counters it, and Droll Lockbird is popular, which somewhat counters it. You do a lot of searching. Okay, so uh, still kind of bricked there. No Marincess cards. So we just clear their field. You do not want any level 2s left on that field because they can special summon their Sprite monsters from the hand if there is. So they link me off. It would have been a little more precise of them to attack me with Gamma Seal first. It was special summoned the previous turn, so it can attack now. And we finally get a Marincess card. Here we go, Sea Angel. And we're going to chain block with Spring Girl's Graveyard effect of sending to the graveyard. Don't get any burn damage in. Marincess dive is going to bring back the Spring Girl. Going into Link 2. Coral Anemone. And we are going to bring back Spring Girl from the graveyard. So we can Link summon our Marincess Blue Slug. And this will allow us to put Spring Girl back in the hand so we can use her in-hand effect to special summon. And look at that. Voila! We have 3 bodies on the field for Ra, even without Guardian Slime. It's really funny that this guy actually knows how Ra cards work and saves his Ash Blossom for Ancient Chant. But thankfully, we've got Called by the Grave to put a stop to that. And unfortunately, he scoops here, so we cannot get to see the animation and a true Ra win. But as I said, nothing really spectacular. I guess if I do go over the Meta Weekly games, like I promised it in an earlier response to a comment, you'll see a Ra OTK in one of those games. But we'll see. Those Meta Weekly games are like a month old, so I'm not sure. All right, we got Diabellstar. Everyone and their mother is playing with Diabellstar in Jin right now. But we've got Vanquish Soul, which is normally a tough matchup for Marincess. We put a stop to their combo. This is one of the drawbacks, is sometimes you get nothing good and you only get staples in your hand, then you gotta stake your soul on stake your soul, and that cannot work out. And they are using the fire monster in hand, Ash Blossom, on Blue Tang, which is just not optimal. I do not advise that if you're playing against Marincess. And they immediately max see me, so they know Marincess is a Link deck that will special summon a lot, but they don't know that you shouldn't bother ashing Blue Tang. So you may say, Aiden, why didn't you go for game here? You've got all this stuff in your hand to combo. But you have to bear in mind that negate that is set. So if they time that correctly, I won't be OTKing and I'll give them a ton of draws. So, right, they can negate my Sea Angel, and I can't get Battle Ocean, and I can't OTK. They could even be extra patient and use it on Zolantis potentially. So, or they could, maybe use it on Coral Anemone effectively. So, yeah, this is just not a good opportunity, especially since I know that Vanquish Soul just suffocates if it doesn't have cards in the hand, and even if they draw a Vanquish Soul card, um, you know, they can't OTK me if they only have one Vanquish Soul card in their hand. And I was correct. And so I'm going to use... The other reason is because I have Ghost Spell. So I'm like, if they get a Vanquish Soul monster like they did, they're going to try to recycle it with Rock of the Vanquisher here. And I'll just stop that immediately with Ghost Spell. And now they have 0 Vanquish Soul monsters in hand. So they really just cannot get anything going. And what do I hit on the draw? Droplet. And again, very strange life choice. They immediately negate my Blue Tang. And I know I can. I know I've got the combo power to just nip in the bud this Rock of the Vanquisher effect with Droplet. Having Seahorse in the graveyard is not a big deal at all. Okay, fine. Bellstar comes back. He is not going to get a chance to play that. And I go right into Sea Angel, and we excavate. I guess it is actually a big deal that... Oh, I'd still be in pretty much the same situation. Now that I think about it, even if Seahorse is in the hand, because I got to start with Sea Angel. I can't use the hand effect. Okay, so I'm just babbling. All right, I get very lucky on the Excavate, because either way, I'm going to have to use Spring Girl if I didn't get both Dive and Ocean, thanks to that Excavate. So I summon Mandarin from the deck, which is not, it's a little unnecessary. I still can do the OTK, which is what you're seeing now without Mandarin. I would have been able to summon Seahorse instead, and then discard Blue Tang with Great Bubble Reef. So yeah, now I just carry out the standard OTK for Marincess, banish Marbled Rock, then use Great Bubble Reef's effect, discarding a water monster to bring Marbled Rock out of the banish pile onto the field, and then we shotgun Great Bubble Reef into Zolantis, wipe the field, bring back our water monsters, and now we create a big fat Marincess Blue Slug with 3,500 attack. These aren't even on 3 times speed, and these replays feel very fast. It's a little hard to keep up verbally, but I'm doing a good job so far. Does he let me actually attack? He does. He doesn't scoop. He wants whatever... He wants some gems, I guess, out of this loss. So, a good win against a Vanquish Soul player with Max C. Don't win many of those. All right, this next one, I believe, is against Tearlaments. And this is good. This is good to know. If you're someone who's playing, Super Heavy Samurai or some other deck that plays Gamma, this is a good little lesson about what not to do or what to be careful about. So I start with normal summoning Blue Tang, and they hit me with Gamma. And you can use Ash Blossom or Ghost Spell on Gamma, but Gamma is not hard once per turn. So it can actually activate again. So I actually choose to send Bacilla Lima to the graveyard. So they negate but don't destroy when they use Gamma again. However, they can't use Gamma again because they decided to special summon Tearlament's Kashtira, and you have to have a clear field in order to use Gamma. So they start popping off Wow, they even had Havness in their hand. I'm surprised they didn't use Havness. Okay, and we've got Kitkelos on the field, but we can stop it with Forbidden Droplet. And this is good. You're going to see something pretty unusual for turn 1, which is I'm going to summon Zelantis. So we're going to do Blue Slug. Nothing surprising there. Bring back a Seahorse. They don't need to know I've got 2 Seahorses in hand. There we go. We got Coral Anemone. Nothing you haven't seen before. And we are going to use Blue Tang to summon Sea Angel so we can chain block with Blue Tang's Graveyard effect. And we're going to get Dive here. It's turn 1. We can't OTK. We don't need Ocean yet. And, I mean, they actually banished the 1 spell card they could use, so Aqua Argonaut's not really going to be useful. I guess they could pick up the Draw the Field spell. And again, similar trick to what you saw earlier, using Dive to summon Pascalis, so Pascalis can use her effect. And here we go, summoning Zelantis. Now, I'm not... Kalos is gone forever. And Tyrellin's Cashier comes back because she's a water. But Rhinoheart's also water. I'm not sure why Rhinoheart didn't come back. I wonder if there's in its effect it says this card is banished when it leaves the field. And so it's banished for other reasons or something. I'm not sure. Okay. And so here, I'll pause here for a second. I only have 2 Coral Anemones in my extra deck, so it may seem a little risky to summon it, but I wanted to have the invincibility that Wave gives for a link 2 or higher on the field. And then I know I've got Coral Triangle in my graveyard to recover and put a Coral Anemone back on the field if I need it. So, all right. Oh, let's unpause here. So I bring back Dive, and they just surrender. They know they're doomed. They can't play with the banished Kitkelos. They just can't. Alright, this final match is against Super Heavy Samurai. More common than I thought it would be. Very annoying. And here we get Max Seed again, but thankfully we've got Ash Blossom this time. I'm not spending my gems for an alternative art Ash Blossom. I'm not that into feet. And yes, this duel is to showcase the power of Ice Dragon's Prison, which I'm not sure if it's in my current version of the Marincess deck, but it's a very good trap card in this meta, because it can summon from your opponent's graveyard and then banish 1 card on each side of the field of the same. Oh god, I always get type and attribute mixed up. I think it's the same attribute, not the one in the right hand top right, water, but Cyberse on the actual text. So this is really good in the current meta against Mathmech Cyberse, against Labyrinth Fiends, against Snake Eyes, they're all Pyros, against Super Heavy Samurai, they're all Machine Monsters. As you'll see, I don't know why I summoned Great Bubble Reef. I think that was actually a misclick, but it turned out to be a good choice. So I get the draw effect, and I draw into Droll and Lockbird, which happens to be perfect, because I'm playing Super Heavy Samurai, but they still try to play through it, and they come close. But thanks to Droplet and Ice Dragon's Prison, they don't get away with it. So Here, you want to stop XL Synchro from using its effect because they're setting up for they're going to summon Baron de Flor next. I guess in theory, I could have saved it for Baron de Flor itself, this droplet, and still use Ice Dragon's Present effectively, but that's neither here nor there. This worked out. And here we go. I'm going to activate it right here. They're trying to bring back Soul Piercer from the graveyard. I put a stop to that by summoning it myself. And then I banish Soul Piercer, which they want to keep putting in the graveyard to keep adding cards, and their tuner. Because if I banish their non-tuner, they might try to summon something with XL Synchro Dragon and that tuner. And they scoot. So that's all the Marincess for now. And maybe for a while, I'm getting pretty tired of the Yu-Gi-Oh grind. I think I'm going to make my Exo-Sister guide and maybe be done for a couple months. We'll see. We will see. All right. Bye for now.